Aaron Judge is a better version of Brock Lesnar.
What is something you love as much as the Charmin Bears love wiping?
As an opposing fan, you'd probably see his face and want to sock him between the cracks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am today's host, Alex Clark, joined by our very own prospects to be named later, and Matthias Altman Kurosaki and Ryan Splash Potts, my main men. It is a very dark Wednesday over here on the West Coast. How are you guys doing so far?
I'm just looking forward to the fact that a week from today I'll be in Florida, where it won't be as freezing. I am waiting for the day the snow on the sidewalk here in New York melts. Other than that, though, I have it's been pretty good. I got to hang out with some of my teammates outside of the pool today, which is nice. We've been trying to be a little more social there, so it's a good effort. It's a good start, I'd say. But other than that, I'm counting down to opening day. I know the Super Bowl. No matter who's playing, I tend to be pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited to watch Seahawks Pats, and obviously you guys probably know who I'm rooting for, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Super Bowl weekend, and then spring training starts up shortly after. So once baseball season starts, I have a little more pep in my step, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited for the World Baseball Classic. I got some new hats, got 5 different WBC hats. Sorry, Puerto Rico. Hope prayers up, I guess. But I'm excited for baseball. Football's at its last game. Basketball, I don't even. James Harden is on the Cavs.
Dude, I'm confused too.
I'm very confused.
Giannis is still on the Bucks somehow.
Yeah, how?
Hey, he might not be by the time you hear this podcast if you're not listening to us
This is
live.
true.
So if you're watching us live, hi. But otherwise, who knows?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, honestly, I'm doing all right here. It's been an interesting week up here, but also, especially to be fair, Super Bowl's in a few days, and my team is somehow in it. A team that was projected to maybe finish 3rd or 4th in the NFC West is now competing to be the number 1 team. So that's fun. But other than that, yeah, no, I'm just more excited for baseball season. I will always be more excited for baseball season, but for this week, I can actually be excited for football as well. Here. But speaking of baseball, this is a baseball podcast, so we should probably talk about baseball. And my Mariners actually made a move. Here, a little bit ago, they've added the impact bet that everyone has been saying that they need to go for. The Brendan Donovan sweepstakes are officially over, with Seattle acquiring his services here. And it's not at an easy price point either, though. It was a very weird price point here because it turned into a 3-team trade. And I got to admit, it makes sense when you know it's the Rays, because the Rays are just kind of always involved in these kinds of trades here, especially when it comes to Seattle. But the full details of the trade: the Mariners received Brendan Donovan, infielder, outfielder, utility. The Cardinals acquiring switch pitcher Durangelo Shinja, which that hurt my soul. Gotta be honest, that hurt my soul here to see him go, as well as outfielder Ty Pete. And they also got let's see here. Now the Cardinals are 15 for Ty Pete. Outfielder Colton Ledbetter, and some competitive balance picks for both the Mariners and the Rays. And the Rays got Ben Williamson. Like, it felt weird to see. I hate that Seattle gave up Williamson. I could go into that later here, but I really like the fact that Seattle's actually doing this win now movements here to get Brendan Donovan. Guys, when the news broke, tell me, what were your guys' initial reactions?
I just wanted to know the asking price. That's the thing.
Same.
Is that we heard all off season that the the Cardinals were asking for like a king's ransom for Brendan Donovan, which Brendan Donovan, don't get me wrong, he's a solid player. I like him a lot, actually. I think he will help the Mariners plenty. But they were asked, like everyone was asking, like, okay, are they going to get like Ryan Sloan or Kate Anderson or like some other like top 5 organizational prospect for Donovan? And like Donovan is a good player. He's not a superstar. And hearing what their asking price was, I was like, all right, so Donovan's just going to begin the season on the Cardinals, like, or at least get to spring training and still be on the Cardinals. So I was a little surprised to see him actually get moved. And I wasn't sure if the Mariners were going to be the team to get him, because it sounded like Jerry Dipoto was kind of content with his current roster, even after losing Eugenio Suarez and Jorge Polanco. But this was the right move for them, I think. They needed an extra impact bat, and Donovan's a guy. He can play second, he can play third, he can play the outfield a little bit. I think this year he probably opens the season as the third baseman, and then when Colt Emerson is ready, he plays third, and Donovan moves over to second. He's a guy who, for what it's worth, he did win a Gold Glove before as a utility man, and he did make his first All-Star game this year. He's, like I said, he's not a superstar, but he doesn't strike out a lot. He draws a decent amount of walks. He'll give you that 110 to 120 OPS plus bat at the top of the order. And then you look at who they gave up. All right, the novelty of Durangelo Saincha being a switch pitcher is nice, but he's not even going to be a switch pitcher this year. He's going to be focusing on just being a righty, which could help him. But, I wonder how much of his prospect ranking is just the novelty of him being a switch pitcher compared to his actual statistics, which were solid, but he did have control issues. Ty Pete struggled this year in the minors. He did hit for more power, but his on-base percentage was below 300. And Ben Williamson was good in AAA, but you look overall at his major league numbers, and he only posted a 604 OPS in the majors. And this is a guy who's 25 now. So the clock was starting to kind of run on him being a contributor on a contending ball club. So the Mariners clearly are showing they're not content with just being an ALCS finalist there. It's great to get to where they were, one game away from the World Series, but you want to get further than that. And from personal experience, in 2015, I watched the Mets exceed all expectations, win the NL pennant, and lose the World Series. How did they follow that up? They tried to run it back with the same team, basically, minus Daniel Murphy. Did that work? No, absolutely not. They were in a rebuild a year later. So I like that Jerry Dipoto is being aggressive. He retained Josh Naylor. He went out and got Donovan, and it sort of almost offsets the losses they had. So I think as long as the pitching staff stays healthy this year, this is another strong contender. I can see them winning the American League this year. It's going to be a battle, but I think the Mariners are in a good spot here.
Yeah, I think there's a reason the Mariners, depending on the source, are either American League favorites or co-favorites with the Yankees. And my first reaction to the Donovan news is, finally, Cardinals fans have been talking about trading this man for an eternity. They've been talking about trading everyone on their roster besides basically Mason Wynn and maybe Alec Burleson. But it's like, Arenado, when is he going to get traded? When is he going to get traded? He finally gets traded to Arizona. Brendan Donovan, when is he going to get traded? When is he going to get traded? And he finally gets traded to Seattle. And unfortunately for Cardinals fans, actually fortunately for the rest of humanity, but unfortunately for Cardinals fans, they didn't get Luis Castillo and Brian Wu and Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh like they've been asking for. I'm sure they wanted 97 Griffey, and they wanted 01 and 04 Ichiro, and they wanted 95 Randy Johnson. I don't know why Chaim Bloom couldn't swing that one, but
they probably wanted 95 Jay Buhner too.
Yeah, and throw in that one Brett Boonier. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. So finally, it's good that these moves get done. It's good for me as the graphic guy, so we can do our Power Post graphics. I don't have to move it to a different team or change up the spreadsheet. This is out of the last 7 3-team trades, the Rays have been involved in 6 of them. So always have to ask the Rays for consent when you do multi-team trades.
That picture's been circulating social media. It's so funny.
So that's good. And I don't hate the haul for the Cardinals. I like Sinja. Like you said, the novelty of him being a switch pitcher, he's not going to be a switch pitcher this year. He, at least in MLB Pipeline, was listed just as a right-handed pitcher now. So his value goes down in my eyes. And, Ty Pete, the values decrease. And some of these Mariners, like the Harry Fords of the world, I know he's a Nationals guy now, but these prospects have lost some of their luster while the Colton Emersons and the Cole Youngs have risen up. So I think Seattle, great trade. Brendan Donovan is one of like 20 players to have 4 straight 114 OPS plus seasons and 350 some odd plate appearances. That's really good. The defense fluctuates, but he can play multiple positions. He has infield, outfield versatility. And he gets on base, and Seattle needs some of that. When JP Crawford is struggling, he had been the on base guy, flip the order or bat him a little higher than you might expect. Like, JP Crawford's batting second for this team? Yes, because he gets on base. Brendan Donovan, I would imagine, hits first, second, early in the lineup, ahead of Cal, ahead of Julio, who can drive him in with their 500 slugs.
Mm-hmm. So I'll go into the first part here. I like Donovan as a player. I think he is awesome here when it comes to getting on base and just getting hits, because you're exactly right here, Splash. It is all about, for Donovan, just get on base so then Julio and Cal and Naylor can drive him in. And that's probably what's going to happen. It's already projected that he's going to be the new leadoff man, with being followed closely then by Julio, then Cal, then Naylor, depending on which metrics you look at here. But one of the things I do want to bring up here is the haul that Seattle had to pay. I don't think we're playing into it enough just how big it was. I think with Jurangelo Shinja, specifically, like, the news is not that he is giving up being a switch pitcher. The news is that he is going to focus more on his right side here, but will keep the left side as for potential versatility here. Is he going to be only right-handed this year? I've heard conflicting reports, to be honest. I've heard both sides here, so I'll just wait to see what I see. I don't think he should give up switch pitching, even if one side is better than the other. Having that versatility it's incredible. Ty Pete is another one that, again, we saw his value slightly start to decrease over the last year plus, but he has still been one of the Mariners' top prospects. And then you have Ben Williamson. I understand the bat was not fully there. I do, but I am not trying to glaze the man into the high heavens here. But the defense was incredible to watch here. I don't care what some of the metrics were saying here on this. Watching him play, watching what he did from the hot corner, go back to that Oakland game, right? I've never seen a man win a game purely on his defense, and boom, there it was. His defense is strong, and it is a good igniter of a full team at that point. Did the bat need work? Yeah. But also, he was doing well in AAA, and I think he just needed a little bit of time. It was his first time in the big leagues. I feel bad about losing him, but I do agree that Donovan is definitely a massive upgrade here. Right now, Donovan, as we said, is a Gold Glover from the utility position, can play second base, third base, a little bit of outfield here. It's exactly what Seattle needed. You look at it and he checks all the boxes. The only reason why I've ever been so hesitant is not because of Donovan. I like Donovan. Donovan is a good player. It was the asking price. Like you said here, it was going to take a king's ransom to get him. And when you throw names like Cade Anderson into the mix here, I'm like, hell no. Like, it's no. Why would you do that here for a guy that is, yes, good, but you're talking now about Cade Anderson as well, who a lot of people are starting to think that he's going to be the ace of the future. Give him some time, obviously, still young, but regardless, the thing that I'm most curious though about, we know that he's going to start the season at third base, Donovan is. But what does that mean then for Cole Young here? Because right now, more than likely here, when you do have Colt Emerson come up, where is he going to play? You have JP at shortstop, you have Cole Young at second base, and now you have Donovan at third. And I don't think you're going to try and put Donovan out in right field every day, even though they have a platoon over there. I mean, it's possible. I
wouldn't say no, actually.
I wouldn't say no either yet, but I want to see how the platoon of Canzone and Resnider goes. But what I want to know is, what does this mean for Cole Young? Is he going to be losing at-bats here? Is JP Crawford going to be losing at-bats? I don't see Seattle going away from JP. Like,
no.
When you have an emotional leader of a team, he is the longest tenured Mariner. Like, let that sink in for just a second here. He was young when Felix retired. And guess what? Felix was on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. And actually did pretty well. But I like Donovan. I'm really nervous, though, for what this means for Cole Young. Because, and on top of it, what this means for JP, in the next coming years here. Because again, we can't put all the eggs in the basket of one Mr. Colt Emerson. I mean, we've seen what happens, but I'm not sure. It's going to take a lot here to replace one of those positions, but we've seen the power from Cole Young. We have seen the versatility from him. He is a good ball player. This is a good problem for Seattle to have because they really do now have kind of that embarrassment of riches. Finally, it only took 3,000 years. And we're getting breaking news, it looks like. Here, Mac, you want to fill us in? Here, it looks like Fromber has found a home.
Yeah, I mean, Framber Valdez to the Detroit Tigers of 3 years, $115 million with an opt-out after 2027. This was not on my radar, I'll tell you that much.
Not at all, but at the same time, also shout out and prayers up for Dylan Dingler.
I mean, I appreciate the Tigers at least still trying to be aggressive. I know they have a big event tomorrow with Tarek Skubal, a big meeting of sorts.
Yeah.
So this is that's an aggressive move by Detroit. I know some people are like, oh my God, why couldn't you just use that money to extend Skubal? Or if you're a Pirates fan, sorry, this is another free agent you did not win out on. But I mean, credit to the Tigers. I don't think Fromber is an ace necessarily, but I mean, you put him as like a number 2 or number 3 behind Skubal. Honestly, not bad. Less pressure to perform. And hey, if you really cash in, you can get a long-term deal. Or actually, that's a lie. He'd be 34 when that deal ends. But I mean, look, it's not a bad contract for either side. So yeah, not bad. I do want to comment real quick on what you were saying about the Mariners. I think this allows Cole Young to get a little more seasoning in the minors, which is good. Because he looked a little overmatched, but you got to remember he's only 22. Don't give up on the kid. He has hit in the minors. There's a reason why he was in the majors as a 21-year-old. So I think it allows him a little more time to develop. And hey, maybe I think he still could be a future piece of this team. But yeah,
I think he will.
Fellas, with this move, the Tigers now have the number 1 projected rotation by Fangraphs WAR.
Good for that.
Wow. So it's what? Skubal, Mize, Valdez, Flaherty, Olsen? Or
yes. Yep. So
that is
not a bad rotation.
Valdez replaces Troy Melton.
Troy Melton, very good as a reliever this year.
Yeah, he'll probably get moved back to the bullpen. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, having the ace, like Skubal's the best pitcher in baseball, according to F4. So that helps. But you have Flaherty and Mize, who are both projected for over 2 WAR. And then Framber's 3.5, given the humongous innings tally. Like, you don't see 196 innings as a projection very often. Only, I think, Crochet and Skubal have more, and Christopher Sanchez. But love that. So yeah. I think it's a great move for Detroit. Trying to win. If you don't trade Skubal, if you don't trade Skubal,
better not.
Great move. If you do trade Skubal, I don't know what you're doing.
Do we have any details on the contract length and dollars?
3 years.
Yeah, 115. Opt out.
Oh my gosh.
Opt out after 2027.
Okay. So big money moves. I think it's a good move for Detroit. This is a team that was an out away from the ALCS for the second year in a row. They went to a Game 5 in the ALDS. They're 0-2 in those games, but hey, man.
Unfortunately, Leo Rivas and Jorge Polanco exist.
They got to be aggressive, especially with Skubal entering a walk year. Like this is probably their best chance to win the AL Central at least. And I mean, the American League is kind of up for grabs, so you could see them at least get to the ALCS this year.
I mean, look, the Chicago White Sox are making money moves, man. They may be competing for the Central.
Sir Anthony Dominguez wants to get back to the World Series and actually win a ring this time.
Yeah, I'll say this much. I think the White Sox will finish ahead of the Twins this year. That's my bold prediction.
That is a bold take, and I like it. I can actually see it, though.
I have not run this by you guys, but I think we should have a hot take episode closer to the season.
Absolutely.
That would be a good one for you, Mac.
That would be absolutely a good one.
100%.
Like, this is a huge year for Detroit, and you think McGonigal could come up later in the season. You could get Max Clark in the outfield if Parker Meadows struggles at all, or Wenzel Perez isn't an everyday player. Like, this is a potential like franchise, shifting year if you're Detroit and you hit on 2 top 6, top 10 prospects, depending on your outlet of choice. And that's an infusing talent into a team with Riley Green, with Gleyber Torres, with Dylan Dingler, with, all-star starter Javi Baez. And Tarek Skubal, of course.
So one of the things I want to bring up here, like, we're not going to go too long on Skubal for obvious reasons here, but the more I'm looking into this, I just think he's just straight up going to walk here if he doesn't get traded. Because right now, with everything that's gone on, the Tigers have burned a lot of good faith with him. Yeah, and I think at that point, he knows that he's going to go out onto the markets, and he will get the biggest contract a pitcher has ever gotten, not named Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I worry for the Tigers and their fans here. This whole arbitration saga is kind of awkward.
Especially when the Tigers' only argument against him is he makes everyone else look bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1A, 1B with him and Paul Skeens right now. He just won 2 straight Cy Young Awards. Give the man the money. But we did see this last year. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. seemed ticketed for free agency, ticketed for who knows where, Boston, New York, and then he re-signed with the Blue Jays. Maybe we get to the point late in spring training or early in the season where the Tigers miraculously give Tarek Skubal what he wants. I still think there is a small chance he gets an extension. If the arbitration hearing goes as awkwardly as people say, he's probably on his way out the door.
Mac, and listen, the Tigers have done some incredible things the last couple of years. They made the playoffs after having a 1% chance in August of 24. Last year, they blew, a 16-game lead to Cleveland to lose the division, and then came back and beat them in the wild card round.
You got to play the long game, guys. It's all about the long game.
Those are the equivalent of picking the Seahawks to win on Sunday. Those events. There is no chance Skubal is returning to Detroit. No chance.
Yeah.
No chance. The highest chance of him returning to Detroit is if the Dodgers signed him and all of a sudden they moved the franchise to Detroit and became the Detroit Dodgers, or the Mets moved to Detroit and became the Detroit Mets. There is no chance Tarek Skubal pitches for the Tigers in 2027 or beyond. Zero.
I absolutely agree.
Sorry, Tigers fans, my dad, my cousin, not happening. It's unfortunate. It's just how baseball works. It sucks. As a fan who likes to see the players play for one team their entire careers, I like to see the Chipper Jones plays his entire career in Atlanta, or Barry Larkin, entire career in Cincinnati. Felix Hernandez, as much as I give him crap for playing spring training with the Braves, his entire career is in Seattle. Edgar, I like that. I like to see that. And it sucks that Skubal is going to get, 7 years in Detroit, and then it's going to be LAD, or NYM, or NYM, or NYY. Heaven forbid that. So, sorry, it's not happening. There's a 0% chance.
Yankee fans always talk about, imagine if George still owned the team and was alive and still owned the team. I feel like Tigers fans have every right to say this about the Illich, Tigers.
Yeah.
Mr. I would have backed up the truck and already signed him to an extension.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
And look, I give credit to Chris Illich for acting with the front office. He made the right moves. He brought in Scott Harris, who I think is a very smart baseball mind, but he's not nearly as aggressive as his dad was. And I feel like he needs to channel a little bit of what Mr. I had here and just pony up and give the man the money.
Yeah, I wonder if part of it's the Mr. I saw the 43-win team in 2003 and said, that's not happening again. So I wonder if it's just the Tigers haven't been that horrible, genuinely stinky. They haven't been White Sox bad or Rockies bad.
They weren't good. 100. They lost 114 one year. I mean, that's...
Yes, they're just not quite worst team in American League history. So there's kind of levels to it, I guess. Yeah. But I will point out, if the Yankees still had George Steinbrenner, the Spencer Jones conversations and the Jason Dominguez conversations, those would be happening for different clubs because they would have been traded for.
They would have been traded a long time.
Yeah, they would have been traded for, random. Oh, Luis Castillo is on the decline. We're going to trade for him all of a sudden. What? Okay.
Why? Sure.
Oh, Robbie Ray won a Cy Young 5 years ago. Sign us up.
It's like they're playing fantasy baseball in 2018. face. This is what it feels like at that point.
So they're Perry Manassian and the Angels?
Just a wee bit, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Anyway, we're gonna move on here to our next topic here, and we are going through our positional rankings every week up until the regular season. Last week we did our third baseman, and by we I mean Mac and myself because Splash was not here. So we now are going to let Splash go through with his top 5 third baseman. Do we want to do a little recap of ours? Yep. So for mine, I had J. Ram in the number 1 position, Alex Bregman as the second, Junior Caminero at third, Manny Machado at fourth, and Michael Garcia as my top 5. And I have like a whole gaggle of other honorable mentions.
Yeah, I had J. Ram, Manny Machado, Alex Bregman, Junior Caminero, and Matt Chapman. I really wanted to put Michael Garcia on there, but as I said, he was my first one off. I just need to see him do that again with the bat. And then he's easily a top 5 third baseman.
Yeah.
He was my first off. Yeah, and I had a couple honorable mentions: Austin Riley, Eugenio Suarez, Max Muncy. Like all those guys. Third base is actually kind of a deep position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you ready for the best list to ever grace mankind here?
All right, Splash. Let's
Sure.
start with yours. Let's start it
Here
out.
we go.
All right, start with an honorable mention. He's not exactly number 6, but Max Muncy at the Dodgers. I love that he gets on base. I love that he hits for a crazy amount of power. Now that he can see again, he hit a lot better. So is he going to be top 5 again? Probably not. But I just wanted to give him a shout out. Good player. Not A's Max Muncy, the older one, born in 1990. Coming in at my number 5. I have props today, boys and girls. It is Alex Bregman of the Chicago Cubs.
Down on number 5.
We got the City Connect Cubs hat. Just a professional, just a good player. You can write him down for a 120 OPS plus. You can write him down for plus defense and solid base running. In Boston, he was a great influence on the young players, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony. I think he will do great things in Chicago, being an influence with the Matt Shaws and the Michael Busch PCA. I've seen some graphics of PCA's swing charts. If Alex Bregman talks to PCA for 5 minutes, PCA might be Willie Mays. It genuinely could happen.
Yeah,
It's possible.
PCA is that tooled up. He will be in our top 5 center fielders in a couple weeks, but he doesn't have any sort of swing intelligence, with all due respect. He swings at anything that moves, but Alex Bregman is the opposite. He is a very high Seager rating. He is very selective, and he picks the right pitches to swing on and drive and hit for home runs. So Alex Bregman is my number 5. And number 4,
Can I interrupt real quick?
have another prop. Alex wants to talk. All right.
I want to have one thing I just want to say here. There's a story out there that Randy Johnson had a chance meeting here with Nolan Ryan. And it was after that meeting here with a couple of things that Ryan had to say to him here that we got the big unit. He went from being this completely wild, no control, to being effectively wild. Anyway, please continue. I feel like we can happen with Bregman and PCA.
I like that a lot. One thing I like a little bit more than Alex Bregman in the year of our Lord 2026 is Matt Chapman, the San Francisco Giants third baseman. I have not adjusted this hat, so it looks a little goofy. Regardless, still great with the glove. It's the usual Matt Chapman treatment, elite with the glove. We know that. Really consistent hitter. He's not the best hitter. No one claims him to be the best hitter, but he's always a good hitter. He's always a solid hitter. He was a 118 WRC plus last year, a 3.5 win player. He was a 5.5 win player in 2024. And every year it's a 3 wins or getting close to 4 wins. If you like Baseball Reference, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. I don't know. He's getting up there. He's going to have some really strange Hall of Fame cases. He had 27 home runs 2 years ago, 21 last year. Runs a little bit, walks a lot. He's at a 9.9% walk rate or better in each of the last 5 seasons, dating back to his Oakland days. ISO is around 200 in a tough ballpark to hit, and in a infield that will be employing Luis Arias and Rafi Devers at points this season, his defense is a welcome addition.
Great right side of the infield defensively, man. That's going to be one. Look, great for the. Sorry, I should say great for the opponents. Respectively.
You know what they say? 30% of the infield here is covered by the first baseman, second baseman, and shortstop for the Giants. The other 70% is covered by Matt Chapman.
Yeah, it'd be like
Exactly.
that. And Willie Adames, he's quite good.
Sure.
All right, number 3, we have Junior Caminero himself. It happened. The breakout happened. He had, had some plate appearances in 2023, had some plate appearances in 2024, and he hit the ground running and really popped in 2025. Doesn't strike out a whole lot, under 20%, which is crazy because he had 45 home run power. And yes, he played his home games at George M. Steinbrenner Field. I understand that. Can talk about concerns. I don't care. I think he has real and legitimate power. 271 ISO last season, hit 264, 311 on base. Maybe bump those numbers up a little bit more when he has some more seasoning. Keep in mind, he's only 22. He turned 22 in July. A 4.5 win player. The defense is fine. He's not going to win a Gold Glove or anything, but he's not like bad. It's sort of like Austin Riley defense, maybe. So depending on the metric, you kind of like him or you don't like him. But Junior Caminero is my number 3.
I respect it. Both Mac and I think had him fairly high as well. But yeah, the power
had him
there
at
is
4,
just
the
power. It's undeniable.
All right, fellas. Any guesses at who my number 2 is going to be? Actually, you know what? Number 1's the one that I would like to reveal now. I'm going to come back to number 2.
Yeah,
because did I just delete his name? No, there's Jose
Nope.
Ramirez, the best third baseman in baseball.
Knows that.
Yeah. This one's easy.
We would have had a problem if
you had. He's just the best. Thankfully, he signed an extension, so he will be hopefully a Guardian for the rest of his career. Just a Hall of Famer. If he retired tomorrow, I think he's a Hall of Famer, or at least a very, very close guy. He has scored 100 runs in back-to-back seasons. He has hit 30 home runs in the last 2 seasons. He walks a lot. He doesn't strike out much. He ISOs over 200. He hits 280. He gets on base a lot. He has slugged 500 each of the last 2 seasons. He has 4 6-win seasons in 5 years. And the one year that wasn't was 4.6, which is still pretty good. He has a 120 or better WRC plus each of the last 6 seasons. It's just consistent. And there's not a flaw to his game. There is nothing that Jose Ramirez does below average on a baseball field.
Correct.
His arm, fine. He runs. Yeah, he has 44 steals last year at 41 in 2024. He's a guy that for his career is going to cross 300 home runs and 300 steals about halfway through the year. And he's one of the best players of the generation. And maybe he's never going to win an MVP. Maybe he's never going to, lead the league in home runs or lead the league in, he could lead the league in RBI. He's that good of a hitter, but he's not necessarily going to have a 10-WAR season. He's not Aaron Judge, but he's really quite awesome. He's, this generation's Chipper Jones, if you will. And it would be an even better comparison had the Indians at the time won in 2016. But just an excellent player, and he's going to go on that list of greatest third baseman of all time with the Schmidts and the Bretts and the Chippers and the Beltres and the Eddie Matthewses and the Boggses of the world. He is that great of a player.
It's so weird because, again, we're looking at a player that legitimately is great. And I think his legacy is going to grow even more after he retires, because at that point he will be put in lists along with Boggs and Chipper and all of that here. And you'll be able to say, oh yeah, he was right there among all of them. But while he was playing, MVPs, no, didn't have the accolades, but again, that's not even his fault, really. I mean, I understand, you could always be better, but then there's Aaron Judge, and you just realize, oh, I don't think I can.
I mean,
that's a tough thing.
Like even the list I gave out, Matthews didn't win an MVP. Chipper won one, and he arguably didn't deserve to win that one. It wasn't even his best.
He had better years,
Yeah, it was better in 07 and 08. Just missed some time. George Brett only won 1 MVP. Wade Boggs never won an MVP. Schmidt won 3, and he's the best of the bunch, really. And Beltre didn't win an MVP. And Ramirez is unlikely to win an MVP. There's an odd, third basemen don't really win MVPs, strangely enough. But
it's strange. Yeah, I think the last one is Donaldson, right?
That makes sense. I think that tracks.
I think it's Donaldson. Yeah.
Darn it! You got me sidetracked. But it's time.
All right, I'm excited to see this. What do we got here?
This player has been one of my favorites the last few seasons. He has
Knew
always
it.
been a StatCast darling. It's Reds all over the board. And we, as a baseball community, said, please, sir, hit the ball in the air and you will be successful. And that is why, with the utmost happiness, Maikel Garcia is the number 2 third baseman in all of baseball. My glorious king, he has arrived, he is risen, he is here, he is pulling the ball in the air. It is glorious. His ground ball percentage finally dipped below 50%, and it was below 45% in 2025. Hitting the ball in the air with pop and authority, this is what the man does. He's also a really good base runner. He is also a tremendous fielder. He is one of my favorite players to watch in baseball. 17 outs above average last season, a really good arm. He hits for contact. He hits for power. It's just an incredible ball player. Hit 286 last year, a 38% squared up rate, an expected batting average of 276. Just an exceptional player. He is a lot of what Jose Ramirez is in terms of I don't want to say consistency insofar as, J-Ram has been doing it for a decade now, but Garcia, I don't really think there's a flaw. Maybe he could hit for a little bit more power. The barrel rate is admittedly 21st percentile because he does have some issues hitting it at the proper, angles, but he squares up the ball. He doesn't whiff. He doesn't chase. He has a good, view of the strike zone. He doesn't strike out much. Like I said, good arm, good defense, good base runner. He's a guy that's stolen 20 bags in each of the last 3 seasons, stole 37 bags in 2024 at an incredible clip. And even then, that was a down year of a 281 on base. So hopefully he doesn't do that again. But finally, 800 OPS, 350 on base. I love to see that. And I think moving the fences in, maybe he's a 20 home run guy. Maybe he's a 20-25 guy. And, maybe you move the fences in and down a little bit. So you get a couple extra home runs, and a couple of those doubles and triples that happen at Kauffman are singles, and then he steals second. So maybe it's a 20-25 season, 20 home runs, 25 steals. And with an elite glove that has been at that level year over year, he's been outs above average, 99th percentile, 76th percentile, 98th percentile. The plate skills are awesome. The power is good. Maybe not plus, but good. It's not Caminero, but I think it's a 60 grade power, 60 grade hit tool, 70 grade field, 70 grade runner. Like, he's a really terrific player. And I have him higher on my list than both of you have him on yours, but he is one of my favorite players in the league and one of my players I think will have another awesome season this year.
Look, I really wanted to put Maikel Garcia on my list. The one thing I'm looking for, like I said, I want to see him do it again. Right. And I do believe that his breakout was real. If he puts up another 120 WRC plus season, he's a top 5 third baseman. I left him off kind of for would it be seniority kind of? That's why I put Chapman on there. That's why I had Machado so high up. Which, by the way, I'm a little surprised to see Machado left off your list, but I do see how. I mean, we matched on 4 guys, so I'm not surprised that someone got left off, but I still put Machado up there because I think his bat plays a little more, but I could easily see Garcia being even in my top 3 next year.
Absolutely.
I'm admittedly a Machado hater. I think the defense has gone in the wrong direction.
I agree there.
He's having to play DH more. And if San Diego, let me phrase this respectfully. If San Diego was a more competently run organization, Manny Machado would not be playing third base as much. He's just not as good as he had been at third base. He's been a negative Fangraphs defense player at third the last 2 seasons. And he's still had, 3.5 wins, 3.5 wins, 3.5 wins, because he can still hit. But it doesn't exactly tickle my fancy as much as it had when the defense is not elite. And Maikel Garcia is a tremendous defensive player. And Machado is more average to below average at this point. And that's my concern. He's going to play more DH, and in theory, he'd play some first if he in theory, he could play some first, but he's a potential Hall of Famer, so I'm not going to be disrespectful here, but I do think Maikel Garcia is better. Machado is probably number 6 for me right now.
And that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I had Garcia as number 5 on mine because I really liked what I saw from him, but I also had the same argument as Mac of I just want to see it happen more than once here. But he still did well enough, and again, we've seen that over the years the batted ball data for him it was trending in this direction. It was just about could you put the ball in the air, please? And what did he do? Put the ball in the air, and we said thank you because that's how manners work. You say please and thank you. But with that being said, that is Splash's top 5 at third baseman. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think that he has Michael Garcia way too high? Do you think that Machado should be number 1 on the list for some reason? Please let us know here on Twitter at LAR_baseball or on our live chat here. Again, we are live recording of this here on YouTube. If we go live usually between 5 or 5:30. We had a little bit of an issue today, but no worries on that front.
Alex, I would like to do an impromptu question of the day, please.
Oh, please do.
All right, let's go.
Impromptu
All right, question of the day. Do you take the stickers off your hats?
Yes,
I do.
Absolutely.
Because I hadn't gotten around. I got so many of them that I haven't gotten around to taking all the stickers off. But yeah, okay.
When I was younger, I had a baseball hat that I was given for the baseball academy I was training at. Here, shout out to Atkinson's. But I left the sticker on because that was my first fitted cap. And I left on because I thought that was the cool thing to do. And then I'm like, it's just stupid.
Yeah, I think my brothers were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you leaving the sticker on? And I was like, I don't know. And then I like hung it up on my wall for a little bit. And then we did renovations and I had to take everything down from my wall. So yeah, that was that.
Understandable. All right. But with that being said, I think it's time for all of us to do a top list here. As it's now time for our top 5 shortstops heading into 2026 here. And I gotta tell you, this list was hard. There are so many good shortstops right now, which is, again, fun. You go back to the last few years, not really the best crop of shortstops here, and you had a lot of back and forth. You had a lot of people like, oh, it's Trey Turner. Like, I guess he's elite still because there's not much to compare him to. I don't know about you. I don't have him on my list. Hot take there, I guess.
That is a little spicy, Alex.
It is a little bit spicy. Then you mind if I get started with my number 5?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, actually, we're going to go somewhere else.
Okay.
This is when producer Jack comes in, and number 5 is.
Oh my gosh!
Right,
oh my god,
ahead,
Jack's
Alex.
top 5. All right,
my number 1 is Ruben Tejada.
My number 1 is Lou Boudreau.
Ooh, sorry,
Lou Boudreau. I mean, all time he had one of the best seasons ever. So
yeah,
true.
Archie Vaughn.
Mine was actually a last minute change. Here, Splash, as the producer, can identify this. My number 5 is Mookie Betts. Look, Mookie is such an interesting player, and I'll tell you the reason why I didn't have him originally on my list is: are we sure he's a shortstop? Are we absolutely sure that he's a shortstop? But yeah, no, he is here. And I mean, what can't this guy do? He has versatility. He has power. He has range. He has the arm for it. He is one of the best players, not just at the shortstop position, but in all of baseball. This guy is an MVP winner, and he's on a team that he's able to produce a lot more with because the Dodgers have every piece known to exist. I mean, legitimately, the only reason why he was not on my list at the very start is because I didn't know if he was actually going to be labeled as a shortstop this year, because the first time this happened, mind you, he immediately got put back in right field. So, I had to be a little bit more cognizant on this one.
All right, so I'm going to go and say that, actually, I want to give an honorable mention here. Couple guys I left off. It was hard to do, but Jacob Wilson, not on my top 5. Zach Neto, I wanted to put him in my top 5. Couldn't find a place. And the toughest omission for me was Geraldo Perdomo. I want to see Perdomo do it again, like I said, like Garcia. 7.1 F4 this year, but he had 4.8 F4 combined in his career coming into this year. So I need to see him do it again. I also have Mookie Betts. All right, Mookie Betts, I know, kind of a weird year. Far from perfect, but he actually transitioned nicely, I think, to shortstop. 5 outs above average, so he's above average. 17 defensive runs saved. All right, that's nice. All right, I know DRS OA. There's like a whole I don't even know if I want to call it a culture war, but there are differences there. But I know that his bat fell off. He was only a 104 WRC plus this year, but you did start to see some of the old Mookie Betts late in the season. His OPS was above average down the stretch, 784 compared to 696 in the first half. So more and more you saw a little bit more of the old Mookie Betts. So I think that next year he is a year older. I understand that, but I think it's reasonable to expect Mookie Betts to go back to a little bit more of what he was prior to 2025. So I have him at number 5.
Okay. Solid starts, fellas. So for my honorable mentions, I'm not going to go with my number 6, number 7, number 8. I'm going to go with 3 guys I would like to see in future lists. Jacob Wilson, hit tool, insane. Defense, I don't know, but hit tool is insane. Zach Neto, one of my favorite ball players to watch in baseball. Really good defensively, a really good hitter. Can we put it together for 162? Jeremy Pena, the World Series hero, had an awesome season. Just not in my top 5 and not technically in my top 8. But my top 8 begins. We're going to go back to 2023. Do we remember the conversations we had around the National League All-Star team? At shortstop, Francisco Lindor, who was on my list later, did not make it. This guy did instead of him, and that's why, of course, Orlando Arcia is my number 5 shortstop in baseball. It's actually Geraldo Perdomo. Oh my God. Please hold.
I mean, I get it. If Perdomo is so good, right? He's one of those players that you just look at and you honestly, it's hard not to root for him too. He's a guy that does a lot of things really well, and he just is a likable guy. Again, I completely understand this pick here.
Okay, that was a brutal sequence of events. Hello, friends. Jim Nance, the ordeal. All my alarms went off for me to go into work, so I'm sorry that happened. Anyways, Geraldo Perdomo is my number 5 shortstop in baseball. Did not make the All-Star game in 2025, by the way, but did finish 4th in MVP voting and won the Silver Slugger. Led National League position players in baseball war, or baseball reference war. That's pretty insane. Had a 2020 season, drove in 100 runs, had 98 runs scored. And what Perdomo does that I particularly appreciate, he controls the strike zone. He hits for high average. He hit 290 last year. He has a high on base percentage. Career 348. This year was 389. That's terrific. 462 slug, 850 OPS, 136 OPS plus, 33 doubles. Steals some bags. Plays plus defense at short. He's just a good player. And some of the guys, even higher in my list, aren't, year over year tremendous defenders or don't exactly have reputations of being great defenders. And yeah, they're going to hit for more power than Perdomo. I know that. And they're going to, ironically enough, none of them have won league MVP, but a couple of them have finished second. Actually, 3 of the 4 have finished second. But Perdomo is just a really good player. And continuing with my, third base analysis, sign me up for that. There are toolsy players all across the shortstop position. Mason Wynn has a rocket launcher of an arm, and he is elite defensively. Nick Allen was unbelievable defensively. He might be reincarnated Ozzie Smith, but even worse of a hitter. The number 4 on my list, all-time tremendous hitter, power hitter at the position. But Perdomo checks off all the boxes. They might not be Sharpie checks. He's not going to go, 40-40, and play gold glove defense. Maybe he does. I don't know. I'd love to see it, but sign me up for a shortstop who plays every single day, who walks 94 times in a season, who has a career 11.7% walk rate. And I'm not the biggest, strikeouts are bad guy, but a 15.7% strikeout rate for his career, very good. He walked more than he struck out last year, and he had an above average ISO with that. And he's an elite. He was an elite player last season. Is he going to be elite this year? I don't know. I hope so. He's only 26. This was a phenomenal extension by the Diamondbacks to get him. He's on $11 million a year the next 4 years. Great stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like not enough people talk about the fact that the Diamondbacks locked up Perdomo and Corbin Carroll on team-friendly deals. I know everyone sheds light on what the Braves did with Acuna and Albies and Riley and Murphy and Olsen, but the Diamondbacks deserve credit for what they've done with Perdomo. And actually, you could throw Marte into that too. Perdomo, Marte, and Carroll are all locked up on team-friendly deals.
And yet they still want to trade Marte. Weird.
Well, not anymore, at least.
We'll see about that in a few months.
It's not going to happen at this point. But
all right. You want me to go to my number 4?
Yeah, just go into your number 4, man.
All right, number 4. It's Corey Seager. This is a really goofy hat. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's better than the one
on
with the T in the middle. So
yes, Texas.
Yep.
Just an excellent hitter. And he was actually an above average defensive shortstop last year. Surprise, surprise. 6.2 baseball reference WAR, a 151 OPS plus. That's awesome. 16 defensive runs saved. Hello. Like what? For his career, he was at 0, and most of his innings are at shortstop. He had a little cup of coffee at third base when he was a pre-rookie and a pre-rookie in 2015 with the Dodgers. But, in 102 games played, this is the knock against Seager. 445 plate appearances, this is the knock against Seager. 21 home runs, 19 doubles. Doesn't really steal much. So if you're a fantasy baseball guy, he's probably not number 4 on your list, even with the huge power profile. Career 509 slug. It's 517 in Texas. And a 149 OPS plus in 24, a 151 OPS plus in 2025. And this is a ballpark that is playing more and more pitcher friendly as it goes on in Arlington. And he still had an 860 OPS. That'll play. That is really good. He's a 5-time All-Star, did not make it this year, missed some time, but there's a reason the plate aggressiveness stat is named after Seager. He swings at strikes. He does not swing at balls. When he swings at strikes, he hits the tar out of the baseball. When he doesn't string at balls, he goes to first base. He has a career 9.7 walk rate. It was 13% last year. You love to see that. A whopping 58 walks in 102 games. Just excellent player. And if the defense stays even like another year or two, he's going to have a fun Hall of Fame conversation. He could be threatening 50 WAR next season. Really good player. Just please stay healthy, man. I want to see the Rangers in the playoffs again. The home run he hit in game 1 of the 2023 World Series, electric, just an absolute, one of the best playoff performers in recent memory, even though the NLCS MVP was a little bit fraudulent, as we've done on a previous trivia segment, but excellent player.
Yeah, I left Corey Seager off of my list for the sole purpose of injuries. Like, he has been so injured over the last few years here that it feels hard to rely on him in that way. But no, yeah, in a vacuum, 162. Turn the injuries off on MLB The Show. He's going to be one of the best guys out there. He checks all the boxes. He's got solid defense. He's got an amazing bat, a really cool last name, although I hear his brother is also really cool. But, I got no real qualms against him. Just, I need him to stay healthy. I really, really need him to stay healthy here. All right, I'll go into my number 4 of them. And for my number 4, I'm going to go with the MLB The Show cover boy in Elly De La Cruz. I mean, what is there not to like about Elly? The only thing that really jumps out at me for when it comes to Elly is the strikeout percentage. Right now, a projected about 25%, which is not great. That's 1 per game. Yeah, but he has every other tool. Does he have power? Yeah, he can hit the tar out of the baseball. Does he have speed? Obviously, he has speed. He checks every box, and I think he's just getting started. Like, I think that, again, you give him a little bit more plate discipline, we're looking at one of the best players in baseball. Just straight up. The reason why he's not higher is because of plate discipline, and his defense has been a little sketchy at times. Is he getting better? Yes, he absolutely is. We've seen a lot of progression, but we have not seen it consistently yet. The ceiling is way, way, way up there here for Elly, and he's already proven how good he can be on this. It's about consistency. For that, though, he's my number 4. I think there's a very real conversation in the near future where he's top 3, top 2.
I considered Ellie. His consistency was not great this year. Coming off a great season, albeit he did lead the majors in strikeouts in 24, but I was a little underwhelmed this year. But he has all the potential in the world. Yes, Splash.
I do want to say with Ellie, he played 162 games last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is great.
And part of the, say, counting stats going down, not counting stats, but rate stats going down, he had a collision with TJ Friedel in May and played the rest of the season. Had he taken a month off or something, or 2 weeks off to recover, 10-day IL stint, whatever it may be, maybe his rate stats are a bit better, and maybe his defensive metrics at shortstop are a little bit better, and maybe he runs a little bit more, and Friedel runs a little bit more. But I want to give him credit that he played 162. He's not on my list. He's one of the 3 that I caught at the very end. But I give him credit for playing 162. And Seager did not play 162. Even Perdomo played 161. The guys in the top 3, they play just about every day. So Ellie, big ups to that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go in a different direction here, though. My number 4 is Trey Turner. This dude proved me wrong this year. I'm just going to say it. I thought he was definitely in a decline. I know his offense was still 20% above average in 24, but I looked at his defense declining. I was like, oh, God, there's no way. Like, I feel like he's going to bottom out this year. But first of all, won his second batting title. Yeah, I know. He only hit 304, but 16 outs above average? Where did that come from? This is a shortstop. And also, I want to point out also 36 steals in addition to 15 home runs. This is a shortstop on the wrong side of 30, and he put up 16 outs above average and 6.7 F4, which was one of the best in the majors. So Trey Turner, man, I was wrong, I guess. He's my number 4. And if you don't mind, I'm going to just roll into my number 3 because my number 3 is Corey Seager. Boy, Corey Seager, please stay healthy, man. It's going to be the number 1 thing people are going to argue over when we come to the Cooperstown conversation, because that's his number 1 thing holding him back. Even his best year in 2023, he only played 119 games. This year, 102 games. He hasn't played at least 130 games since 2022. But when you see him on the field, 138 WRC plus, he was above average defensively this year. It's not very common for him, but I mean, he improved in some ways. 138 WRC plus is nice. Overall, he's a 136 WRC plus for his career. I'm really excited about his defense improving. Still a 4 F4 guy. I think, Corey Seager, I think, is still an above average shortstop. That's still a top 5 guy. If he just stays on the field, he could be top 2. I know we had him at number 1 a couple years ago, but he's been in our top 5 every year since we started doing these rankings, and I think he deserves to stay.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Right. Again, I feel bad about not putting him on my list, but again, it's injuries. That's always going to be the point here. I do want to say on Trey Turner, though, one of the best things for him is that he also has the smoothest slide out of anybody. If you go back, just go watch those GIFs, and you will feel good just watching him slide into home and then just kind of coast right back up to standing position. Absolutely beautiful. All right, I'm going to go into my number 3, and I'm feeling kind of weird about my list here, seeing what you guys have here. And for number 3, I have Gunnar Henderson.
That was another tough omission for me. Yeah.
Gunnar's really good, guys. I mean, come on. This dude has been absolutely lights out for the last couple of years now, and he's really hitting into that groove. Talk about another 5-tool player, right? Has the power, has the speed, has the defensive acumen. Here, right now, according to Fangraphs, here he is projected to be the 2nd highest third baseman in terms of WAR. That is ahead of the guy that I have at number 2, mind you. I want to be very clear about that. Definitely not ahead of the guy I have at number 1, who I think we all have at number 1, but we shall see. But regardless, you take a look at what Gunnar does, right? He was another one of the young prospects that were like, okay, let's see how you pan out. Another highly touted prospect at it, though. It took him a little time. It did take him a little bit. But once he was there and he was ready, he made that first name matter, and he was gunning down everything he needed to, and he played incredibly well here with the bat in his hand, with the glove on his hand. He was ready, and he was dangerous. You go back and watch the Orioles from last year, not a whole lot of great things to work with. I understand that. One of those bright spots was Gunnar Henderson, because he was incredible. The only reason why he's not higher is because we have 2 generational players ahead of him right now.
Yeah, guys, we're in a golden age of shortstops. I just want to point this out. If your favorite team's shortstop isn't on this list, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad player. It just means we have a lot of great shortstops right now.
No, Mac, it means they were in their home country and slipped on ice.
Ouch. Oh, man. That does hurt, man.
That hurts, yeah. As it would, because it's slipping on ice.
Yes, I am angry still, actually, as a Ha-Seong Kim supporter. Yeah, Gunnar Henderson, really good player. His 3rd straight year with at least 5 Baseball Reference WAR. Not on my list. Very good player, but not on my list. My number 3, I'm not going to wear the hat for obvious reasons. It's Trey Turner. I do have the hat. It's a beautiful hat. I'm just not going to wear it. Good job. Hit 304, won another batting title. That's all well and good. Welcome back to the 30 Steal Club. Whoop, whoop. It's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They're there to arrest Nick Castellanos for still being on the Phillies roster. 36 steals. That is his most since 2018. He did get caught a little bit more than he had in previous years. He had a 30 for 30 season on his ledger. Did not do that this year. 31 doubles. You'd love to see that. 355 on base. His highest since 2021. Slugged 457, a little bit down actually from previous seasons, but he was healthier than he was in 24. He missed some time right before the playoffs, so there was that awkward will he, won't he? Is he going to win the batting title? Is he not going to win the batting title? But he ended up winning it, and he has been remarkably consistent with the bat at the shortstop position. That's hard to find. Dating back to 2019, here is OPS pluses by year. 117, 162, 145, 124, 110, 121, 121. He's just a good baseball player. And the fielding can be hot and cold. Excellent range, in theory, because the incredible speed. Sometimes I wonder if he would be better served playing second with Stop playing short, but I have no complaints for his shortstop defense in 2025. Like Max said, great on Fangraphs, Baseball Savant, +2 defensive runs saved. That'll play at shortstop. He was 5th in MVP voting, his tied for the highest of his career. Just a really good player. And if you guys don't mind, I'll go into my number 2.
Please go for it.
All right. Another one. I'm not going to wear the hat, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous hat. It's it's the Big League Chew version of the Metropolitan.
I do like Big League Chew.
Yeah, it's a great ground ball grape. They should probably change the name on that. Francisco Lindor, he's a future Hall of Famer. He's one of the best shortstops of the era. We are getting Jeter versus Lindor comparisons. And honestly, those are perfectly fine. I think I would take Jeter's peak over Lindor's, but I think Lindor's going to end up with more WAR for his career. He's certainly more deserving of his surprisingly only 2 Gold Gloves, because he's sort of the bridesmaid, not the bride, defensively in the National League when Dansby exists and Tovar had a huge year and Mason Wynn has had a huge year. So consistently plus defensively. Did have -1 DRS in 2025, but I am going to highlight a different column on Francisco Lindor's Baseball Reference page. The plate appearances. He has led his league in plate appearances 4 times. He has led his league in at-bats 3 times. If you want a player who is going to hit and be in the lineup and do the things, it is Francisco Lindor. We can have qualms. Is he an elite hitter? No, he's a really good hitter. Is he, elite at this or elite at that? I don't really care because he's elite at playing baseball. That's the fact of the matter. He has played 150 games in 4 straight seasons. He played 158 plus games 3 times when he was in Cleveland. He played every game in the COVID season. He has had 700 plate appearances. 700 plate appearances 4 different times. He has had 600 at-bats 7 different times and had another year with 598. He has had 180 hits in a season twice. He's had 170 hits in a season 4 more times, 169, 153. He's had 30 doubles in a season many times. He's had 30 home runs in a season many times. He's had 30 steals in a season twice and 2 more seasons with at least 25. As a shortstop, he's driven in 107 runs, 98 runs, 92 runs, 91, 89, 86, 129 runs, 117 runs, 108 runs, 107 runs, 101 runs. It's like looking at an older shortstop. It's like looking at a player from a previous generation of the run production's there, the runs and RBIs and the hits and the at-bats and the doubles and the counting stats. And yes, I know the OPS plus is quote unquote only a 120, and that's not going to ever compare to what Judge or Ohtani or Alvarez or Schwarber are doing in a given year. But he produces at a high volume, and that matters. It matters when you have essentially like a 20 point per game scorer for 20 years. That's awesome. He's entering his 12th season. He's going to cross 60 Baseball Reference WAR this year. He's already across 60 Fangraphs WAR. Like I said, he's going to chase down Derek Jeter, and I think he's going to stick at shortstop until at least he's 35. He's just turned 32 in November, and so I give him at least 3 more seasons at shortstop, 4 more seasons at shortstop, and he's going to cross 300 home runs this year. He's going to be at 250 steals at some point in 2027. Hopefully there's a season. 600 walks by the end of the year, and just an excellent player.
I think it's the best way how I could kind of put it, because Francisco Lindor is my number 2 as well. I think that the best way to describe what he does here is to compare him to his former infield mates, and that is Jose Ramirez here. Both of them are very similar here. Infielders on the left side of the infield, switch hitters, does everything well. There's not too many things that are truly elite, but they do everything well here. When you can count on Francisco Lindor like you could count on the sun coming up the next day. Like, that's the kind of player that we're looking at here. Is he going to be the guy that's going to hit 70 home runs? No. Is he going to steal 60 bases? No. Is he going to have 2,000 outs above average? No. What is he going to do? He's going to play some pretty darn good shortstop here, and he's going to produce runs. You're a very old archetype in some way like that. He is a player that you want on your team, not just because of his name, that he has now earned a very well-liked moniker for his name, but because he's earned that. He's earned that feeling here. You take a look at the course of his career, there have only been a couple splotches that are weird or bad, I should say, for Lindor standards. The rest of the time, it's a Hall of Famer. Like, there's no doubt about it for me. This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. Whether or not it's first ballot, I think is the only question. But at that point, I mean, what are we arguing here anymore? So, Lindor's my number 2.
So, I will say this much about his ability to play every single day. And I love that Francisco Lindor wants to be on the court every day. I just said on the court. On the field every day. But it can hurt you sometimes. The one issue here is that he tried playing through a broken toe this year. And we saw this in 2022 when he played through a broken finger. It clearly hurt him. What happened here is that he played through a broken toe. He had an awkward 8-week stretch where he had a 626 OPS. What happened when he was finally healthy? Last 6 weeks of the year, his OPS was over 1,000. It was 1,033. So you know what he can do when he's healthy. And it's weird because defensive runs saved say that he is below average defensively, but everything else says that he's above average. He's still 5 outs above average. And he still put together a 129 WRC plus. I know the fan base wanted to pile on him when the team was struggling late in the year. And I mean, honestly, it did hurt. He had to get dropped from the leadoff spot, which was unpleasant. But top to bottom, this is a 5-tool player. He still, despite those awful 2 months where he was playing through that broken toe, he had a 30-30 season. He was a Silver Slugger finalist. He still hasn't won a Gold Glove as a Met, but he's still a strong defensive shortstop. He is the spiritual leader of this team. And I know there was some talk like, oh, should he have been named captain? Should he have not been named captain? Regardless, he does everything right on the baseball field. And I think Mets fans need to acknowledge that this is the best shortstop this franchise has ever seen. So he's number 2. It's not a knock on him that he's number 2. It's just the guy at number 1 is truly special.
Right. And I mean, I think we can all agree, that, everyone's number 1 here is everyone's favorite, J.P. Crawford of the Seattle Mariners, baby!
Wait a minute. Whoa. It's actually Connor Griffin. We are joining Baseball America and the who does the one for The Athletic? I'm blanking on his name. Keith Law, Fangraphs, MLB Pipeline. Connor Griffin, number 1, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. No, it's Bobby Witt Jr., guys. I mean, what more do you need to say? This man has revolutionized what we look at from a shortstop. I mean, I don't know what more you need me to say. Like, this guy plays with an insane amount of power, an insane amount of speed, an insane amount of range, and he also doesn't strike out a whole ton. Like, the kid already has 21 WAR over his career. And how long has he been in the major leagues? Oh, yeah, let's see. Just a 4 years? He had a 7.1 WAR last season. Like,
and that was a down year, by the way.
Compared to the 10 he put up the year before or whatever.
Yeah, and funny enough, he was third.
I was 10 on Fangraphs.
Right? He was third in MVP, though?
Second.
Fourth.
Well,
Fourth.
Second in 24 behind
behind
Ron.
Someone,
Behind Arson?
Arson, famous giant Arson Judge. But, I mean, you take a look over the course of the entire sheet here that Splash has up here. Last year had 184 hits. The season before that, 211. I think a lot of people after the 2024 season, a lot of people were ready to say, okay, he's the best shortstop. And you know what? They would be rightfully so. A lot of people.
Let me stop you for a second, Alex. Yeah. A couple of us, you and I, said after the 2023 season, he was the best shortstop in baseball.
Okay, fair enough.
Behind Seager.
Fair enough. But anyway, and he did it again. It's like he then, after 2023, did extremely well, 211 hits. And then decides, 2025, I think I could take a break here, take a down year. And the down year was 7.1 WAR. 2024 he almost had a 10 WAR season. Like, let that sink in for just a second. A shortstop in their 3rd year in Major League Baseball had a WAR that was closer to 10 than it was to 8. That is stupid. That is stupidly good. And on top of it, he hasn't had any issues either with health. Go back to 2022, 150 games. 2023, 158 games. 2024, 161 games. Here, 2025, 157. I mean, the dude is everything you want in a shortstop. He is everything that you want in a shortstop. I cannot find a single knock on the guy. The dude is an insane baseball player, and the Royals better be kissing their lucky stars here that they have locked him up for as long as they have.
Yeah, that contract. I was talking about what the Diamondbacks have done, but the Royals locking in Bobby Witt Jr. is just insane. A guy who's getting about $21 million a year, at least through 2030. Dude, this is a guy, if he hit the free agent market, would probably get $40 or $50 million a year. I hate to say it, but he's going to take that opt-out gladly. 130 WRC plus. Oh, no, it's not a 170-ish. Only an 8 F-WAR. F-WAR gets him at 26.7 already, if you wouldn't believe it. So, and he doesn't strike out a lot. He hits the ball hard. His athleticism is excellent, which is really crazy compared to what his dad was, he was a pitcher who wasn't exactly the most effective when it came to throwing strikes. He wasn't lauded as like a great athlete in the field necessarily, but Bobby Witt Jr., 24 outs above average this year. This guy is a true five-tool player. He hits homers, hits for contact, led the majors in hits this year, led the majors in doubles. He checks all the boxes. Really, we're watching a special player develop in front of our eyes, and we shouldn't take it for granted. So, yeah, he's an easy number one.
Yeah, there's a reasonable thought that if you are Mac or my age, Bobby Witt Jr. is the best shortstop season we've seen. And if you're of an older generation, it's A-Rod and Cal Ripken. And if you're older than that, you have to be a whole lot older to have seen Lou Boudreau, Archie Vaughn, or Hannes Wagner. Like, we're talking about a guy who has had, two of the top 40 shortstop seasons of all time. Like, his 2024 season is like better than anything Derek Jeter did, better than anything Lindor's done, better than pick your favorite Hall of Famer. And unless their name is Hannes Wagner, Ernie Banks, or Alex Rodriguez is not a Hall of Famer, but that's a story for another time, or Cal Ripken, Bobby Witt was better. It's better than even Archie Vaughn, my dearest beloved 1935 and 1936 seasons. Better than that. Better when he hit 385 with the 491 on base, but just an incredible, incredible player.
Absolutely. I mean, what more do you need to say at this point? I've said that now a few times here because I just want to hammer that home here that it's becoming now fact that Bobby Witt Jr., it's not even close at this point, that he is your number one. And it's so weird to say that, especially when Lindor is the number two, that Bobby Witt Jr. is the runaway number one. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know. Did we miss out on anybody? Do you think that Bobby Witt's actually overrated somehow? Let us know here on Twitter at LAR_baseball or join the live chat here whenever we record live Wednesdays between 5 and 5:30. But now, gentlemen, it's now time for everyone's favorite segment. It is trivia time. And for the trivia duties, I now will present the reins back over to One Splash.
What do we got here?
Oh, no.
Hello, friends. We're playing Connect 3. It's kind of like Immaculate Grid, but it's Connect 4 rules, and I did not have a grid. I did not want to waste my time making a grid, and the only grid they offered on Canva was a 6x6. So we're playing Connect 3 instead of Connect 4. So for those audio listeners, this would be a good time to tune into the podcast. But if you insist, the columns from left to right are Reds, Phillies, Angels, Astros, Mets, Blue Jays, and the rows from bottom to top are Cubs, Mariners, Braves, Tigers, Brewers, White Sox. Alex, your pieces are Mariner, teal, green, whatever. And Mac, yours are fluorescent orange. You know why. So
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Traffic cone?
Syracuse. I think that's the wrong color for Syracuse, but that's fine. All right, Alex, please choose a number between 1 and 7,000.
814.
Okay, Mac.
450.
The number was 6969. So, Alex, would you like to go first or second?
Okay, I have a quick question before we go further here.
I was going to answer that question, but yes. How does this work? So you must go bottom to top. So you have to fill in the.
So it's the fall down thing.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So you have to fill in, for example, the Reds Cubs cube first before you can do the Mariners Reds. No. So if you go Angels Cubs, then Mac can go on top of you and do Angels Mariners, but he can't do Angels Braves yet. So
you have to get 6. I'm confused. So you have to get 6 in a row?
3 in a row. It's Connect
3 in a row.
That's the name of the game.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I know, but okay. And it has, to be vertical.
I get it. Yeah, no.
No, it can be any way. Okay. You just have to connect 3 in a row. It's Connect 4 rules, but the grid's not big enough to do 4, so I just decided to do Connect 3. Maybe that'll screw it up. I don't know. Alex, you you may proceed, sir.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is I know the square I want to go for, but I'm struggling at actually doing it.
If you choose a player that does not fit, so for example, if you're like, oh, Reds and Cubs, give me Pete Crow Armstrong, you lose your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna go with one that I'm pretty sure was for
Great.
both the Angels and the Cubs. And that was John Lackey.
John Lackey.
Yep.
Yes, he did pitch in the World Series. Was the winning
For both
pitcher in the
teams.
World Series for both
Yeah.
teams. So John Lackey is correct.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna go Cubs Reds. I'm gonna go with Sean Marshall, good lefty specialist.
Okay, let me just
I used an
cross-check.
immaculate grid once, so I'm
Cubs
assuming
and
that's
Reds.
right.
That would be correct.
Let's go.
McCorkle is on the board. All right, Alex.
Okay, you put me in a very interesting position there, but I think I know what I want to do with it. Here, I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go with Houston and Cubs, and I'm just trying to. I know there's like a really easy name, that I'm like obviously blanking on because I have to build the dramatic tension of all of this.
Hey,
Definitely.
if it's the same player I was thinking of, I called him the wrong name on a podcast listing him as a top 5 player at his position.
Oops.
It really do in fact be like that though. So okay, I'm gonna go with okay. So here's a question for you.
Okay.
Because there's a really easy one I have here, but he's now contracted to the team, but he's not played a game for them yet.
Not valid.
Not valid. Okay.
So if you did
Yeah,
Brendan
I'm gonna agree
Donovan,
here.
Mariners, not valid.
Okay, yeah, because I mean Cubs and Astros, I could just say Kyle Tucker, but that doesn't work then. So,
do we tell him, Mac?
Oh wait, no, duh.
Yeah, I was gonna let you figure that one out.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, Kyle Tucker. For some reason, I don't know. I brain farted to think that he was now signing with the Cubs as opposed to now signing with the.
I think most of the baseball world outside of the NL Central wishes that happened.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
All right. I think I have made a mistake, but please continue.
You absolutely have.
Yes.
And I'm taking advantage of it.
I'm going to go Reds, Mariners, NPB legend Vladimir Ballantyne.
The good old W in the spelling.
Yup.
Yeah, Mariners and Reds. That would be correct. All right, Alex, you have 2 chances to win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cubs and Phillies here, and I'm going to go with Robin Roberts because he's been in the show a lot lately.
Okay, I do need to cross-check that. I know he was a Philly. Yes, he was putrid with the Cubs, but a 6 ERA with the Cubs does.
If I remember right, doesn't he have a comment card in the show? That was like one of the.
I think he does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those like reverse missions that you had to do. That was funny.
Okay. So,
all right.
Okay. Yes, Alex did connect 3. I wonder if that's not really fair to Mac.
Right,
that was why I was surprised that he didn't go with one immediately next to me. I'm like,
yeah, because then he would have forced you to either do the Phillies square or the Mets Cubs square. So
yeah,
I was only thinking vertically for some reason for this again, and I was like, what?
Okay.
So how about this? What about let's call it with this for right now because we are at 123, but let's renovate this idea potential for next week.
Sure.
Yeah,
Mac,
that's fair.
Mac, if you can name a Red and a Brave, we can give it a tie.
Yeah, Reds, Braves, David Ross.
Ooh, David Ross.
Ooh,
He's MLB Power Pros legend.
Surely.
Future manager.
Yeah, future manager. 2-time world champion, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be correct. 2016 Cubs and 13 Red Sox. Okay, you know what would be fun trivia? I don't know if it's practical as a trivia segment, but guess the ball cap on the player's baseball reference picture.
That would be fun, actually.
Any guesses
Crawford,
for David
Blue Jays
Ross
or something?
Cubs.
I'm gonna guess the Cubs.
Braves.
Wow. Braves. Oh wow.
He didn't play the most time with most seasons with the Braves.
I just know they're like weird ones. Like I think K-Rod has like the Phillies or something, and for a little bit, Joey Votto had Blue Jays.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes.
K-Rod is Angels.
Okay, he's back to Angels. Okay. Because I know that Reds fans were like, dude, this looks so weird. Like it's
or Felix had I think a Braves hat for a little bit.
Yeah, he had a Braves hat for a little bit. Or
for like 20 minutes,
he didn't get awards, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That could be a fun one. Maybe we can do that another time.
Yeah, we can figure that out for another time.
Yeah.
All right, good job, everybody. You tied.
Right, thank
you. It's like kissing
that was
your
fun.
sister.
Let's do this again.
I like it. We just need to make it actually connect 4, probably.
Yeah, I thought about that as soon as you put your second answer down. Like,
to be fair, every time I play Connect 4, the only thing I think about is there's a edited image of it where it's Connect 1. And it's just one big slot here for it. And it's like the classic Connect 1 in a row game.
Connect 1, yeah.
Like, bro, I always win. I'm so good at this game. But anyway, thank you so much for trivia again.
Yeah, that was fun.
That is fun. I really like the concept. We just need to exercise it a bit more. But now it's time for the moment to ourselves, where we take a moment to talk about anything that's on our mind. It does not have to be baseball related, but it absolutely can be. Gentlemen, I would like to go first this time, if that's all right.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so someone count me down.
1 second.
That's my bad.
You good, man?
Begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Seahawks are in the Super Bowl. Why did this happen? How did this happen? What is going on? I'm very happy about it, yes, but oh my God. At the start of the season, I've talked about this on podcast. I didn't care. Like, I looked at the team and I'm like, I just don't feel any love on this team. I like JSN. That's about it. Because, again, you lost Tyler Lockett. You lost Geno Smith. K9, you didn't know what he was going to do, if he was even going to play because of his injuries. But I have come to like the team again there. And honestly, it may have just been emotional burnout from the Seattle Mariners in the playoffs, where I really put in, 150%. And maybe I just need a little time to not feel these incredible emotions. But now the Seahawks have brought me back in. Call me a bandwagoner if you want. I get it. I would understand. But what they have done has been nothing short of incredible. This team went from being a team that in week 2 looked about as dirt bad as you could look to the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. What is happening? What happened? But you know what? I'm going to be watching the game. I'm going to be excited. And if the Seahawks win, I will be at the parade. It will be awesome. It will be amazing. And I'm very excited for it. Go Hawks.
Alex, I do want to point out that I told you in October that the Seahawks could win the Super Bowl. So
yep, you did. No, you're correct. Yep, you're absolutely right. By the way, we can't see you.
I know, that's the point. I would like to go next, please.
Sounds good.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Folks, ladies and gentlemen, as I come into screen with this ultra cinematic view, I'm going to take a brief moment to dunk on idiots in the world. Today's the idiot of the day is Delta Airlines, or frankly, any airline. You can go up now. Frankly, any airline. When I was coming back from Atlanta, I got my flight rerouted, and instead of going Atlanta to DC, it was Atlanta to Raleigh to DC. So I have been inside Raleigh. Eat that, Alex. So I'm in Raleigh. I'm sitting there. It is, 11 o'clock. I come out of the bathroom and I'm ready to, board my flight. I'm on the last flight from Raleigh to DC. Going to land at like 1 a.m. and have to figure out how to get back to my apartment. And Delta, they're boarding the flight. They are boarding the airplane. The women with children, military, veterans, wheelchair, whatever, the people that board pre-boarding, right? They have boarded the plane. They're getting on the plane. And then the gate agent's like, actually, the pilot and crew have timed out. brother in Christ. Delta knows that. The crew knows that. Why did he wait until 11 o'clock to tell us? So I have to get a hotel reservation, stand in line at the desk for half an hour, then take a bus over to a hotel, and I slept for like 3 hours tops and had to go back to the airport for a 6 a.m. flight. It is positively ridiculous. I understand that some of it's out of their control. Like if it was the weather, I get it. If it was like some other unspeakable thing happened, I get it. I try to be an agreeable person, but when something like you timed out, they know they're timing out. They know that the hours. How do you not know the hours? And how do you not plan ahead? And it's just lame. And I'm sure there's, thousands of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of passengers that have had to deal with that, had to deal with issues like that. And if it was a plane malfunction, understood. It was bad runways. That's why the original Atlanta to DC flight was canceled. Bad runways. Get it. Lightning in the area. Totally get it. Understandable. But when it's a crew timeout and that's an issue Delta knows, and Delta can't say at 9:30, hey, the crew timed out. We can't get another crew. Okay, then at least I can go back and have an extra couple hours to sleep or whatever. So just unfortunate. And I spent the entire day at the airport. I lost my ID in Atlanta. So it's
Yeah, I have my own Delta horror story, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Don't need to.
I was going to say, the only thing I'll say is, and look, I actually do take Delta a lot. I don't mean to dunk on them, but the one time I was going to Atlanta and sat on the tarmac for 6 hours, and the other time when my dad and my sister were flying home from Japan and like you, got rerouted through Detroit because they had to change crew. And they literally just sat on the tarmac for 2 hours. But anyway, look, I think Delta does their job for the most part.
I mean,
sometimes
Delta's my favorite.
Things happen, guys.
It's kind of like having a favorite baseball team that, even the 2001 Mariners lost 46 games.
Wait, that's allowed?
Yeah,
162-0 every year.
That's what people think the Dodgers are going to do.
162-0. If you don't go 162-0, what's the purpose?
Yeah, just rebuild, tear it apart, and rebuild.
Yeah,
honestly, that is like football fans are slightly more rational. They only get to watch their team 17 times.
17, yeah.
It's like, 10-7, that'll work. And then as a Braves fan, it's like, if we don't win 140 games, I am going to never watch the sport again.
I will say, slightly related to what Alex said, when I watched the Seahawks destroy the Steelers early in the season, I was like, all right, I think people are sleeping on this team.
George Alani, touchdown scorer. Oh, I also get to take full circle if Sam Darnold wins Super Bowl MVP.
We're not going to go into that right now.
Because I almost got fired from my previous employer for insisting to bet $1 on Sam Darnold to win Super Bowl MVP when he was backup quarterback for the 49ers 2 years ago.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Mac, you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, I know I spoke about a different publication recently, but it is a tragedy what happened to the Washington Post. These are some of the best writers in the world, in my opinion. And unfortunately, they're all losing their jobs now, or most of them are. It's basically it for the Washington Post sports department. There are mass layoffs across the paper. This is a colossal tragedy for the Washington Post, but also for the entire industry. It's really, really disappointing to see this happening. I think, like I said, these are some of the best in the world. Washington Post is widely regarded as, behind the New York Times, probably the second best paper in the world, second best sports section, arguably the best sports section in the country. And it basically is non-existent now. Really disappointing to see that this is what modern newspapers have become, modern media. I hope something happens where it gets reversed and all these people get their jobs back. Washington, D.C. is one of the biggest markets in the country, and now they don't have local beat writers for their sports. What's going to happen with the Nationals, the Wizards, the Capitals, WNBA, the Mystics? Like the Commanders, like all this is going on. The Commanders are about to get a new stadium. They were literally in the NFC Championship game a year ago, and now there's nobody to cover them. So yeah, it's really disappointing. I want to have faith that things can turn around, but just want to say, I really hope things turn around there. It's a rough look for everyone in the media world, sports or not, to see a publication of that magnitude cut so many writers and cut off their sports section.
I mean,
Yeah, that's really lame.
It sucks, yeah. Especially because, again, like, we know that newspapers themselves are a dying breed, but the writing and the journalism is still there.
Exactly.
And that's what's so important here on all of this.
But speaking of DC, did you guys see the Lakers Jackson Hayes decking G Wiz, the Wizards mascot?
I did. I was really confused as to what happened, but that was bizarre.
It's like total blindside hit. What are we doing? Like, first of all, the Commanders could use you at linebacker, or the Chargers could use you at linebacker. But what are we doing? Yeah. Why are you blindsiding a mascot, buddy?
It'd be like that. All right, but with that, the time for our podcast has come to its end here. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in, whether you were on for the live podcast or you're watching the VOD later on YouTube or you're listening to us on Spotify. Again, you can find us on all of those places at Losses Above Replacement or LAR_baseball. You can go follow us individually. Me at the Sports Guy 242. You can go follow Mac at Matthias_A_K. And you can go follow Splash at Mr. Splashman 19. Well, from all of us here at Losses Above Replacement, I want to thank you all for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon. Thank you.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! It's a home run!